evening, I'm Laura Lee. Thanks for joining us. Dan has the night off. Speak up, speak out. That's Wisconsin's anonymous tip line, and it's just one way the state's Office of School Safety protects students. But a loss of funding is putting their services at risk. Northern News Now's Jack Wiener tells us about the local efforts to save the program.
Keeping students safe. It's a priority Superior School Superintendent Amy Starzeski says everyone can agree on.
School safety is the #1 issue for parents. It's the #1 issue for educators.
In 2018, Wisconsin created the School Safety Office to provide regional crisis teams, safety training, and grants across the state. But Starzeski says the 24/7 anonymous tip line, Speak Up, Speak Out, is the office's most essential function.
If there's any concerns from students, parents, staff members, they can go to this tip line.
Even though the state legislature allocated about $500,000 to the program, it faces significant cuts.
So we've been communicating with our legislature regarding maintaining that same level of funding and the same level of resources.
In a letter to the state legislature, Starzeski voiced her support of 2 bills, which would use funding from concealed carry licenses to maintain Wisconsin's Office of School Safety. Starzeski says they'll try to provide their own resources if those bills don't pass, but a 24/7 tip line isn't within their means. In Superior, Jack Wiedner, Northern News Now.
Jack, thank you. Now, Republican Senator Romaine Quinn is a sponsor of the 2 bills, which would reallocate nearly $1 million from concealed carry license fees. Now, the bills have seen bipartisan support, but they're still in the works.